Hi. Okay, I'm back. I got my coffee, changed my shirt, washed my face, pulled my hair back, because this is going to be a fun video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Amanda. I was born in a cult and I left when I was 17, almost 18, and if you want to learn more about that, you don't know about that, I'll leave the link to my video down below where I explain all of that. Anyways, welcome back to my channel. If you follow me on Twitter, I posted a tweet on Twitter about how I really wanted to do, for the whole month of October, just kind of discuss the legends from the order and some of the mysteries that happened that are still unsolved to this day. So I brought that up in my Twitter and I had a lot of you really liking that idea, and even some of you brought up specific mysteries that you wanted to know about, and we will get into those. I was actually shocked that a lot of you knew about those little stories because they were like really hush-hush back when I was in the order. Anyways, I'll get into some of those specific ones in a future video, but this one today, hang on, I'm gonna need a lot of coffee for this one. Today we're gonna be talking about Kay's Cross. So Kay's Cross, if you're a local here in Utah, or if you're a local in Kaysville, Utah specifically, you're gonna know what Kay's Cross is, or at least the legends about Kay's Cross. So before I get into this, I'm just gonna hurry and put my contacts in because I know that if I start my makeup, I'm gonna like tear up and it's gonna ruin my makeup. So give me a second. I bet you can't guess which one's my real eye. Whoa! I did it! Okay, that's the look. Thanks for watching. Okay. Okay. So now that we got those in, this is gonna be kind of creepy. Like, I'm getting scared looking at myself. Okay. We're gonna start with some of this. Okay, so where were we? If you are a local in Kaysville, you're gonna know that something really weird happened up in Kaysville. So back in the 1940s, a huge cement cross was built out in the forest of Kaysville. And so many stories have been told from Utah locals, from just random people that like had relatives living in the area. Like, there's so many stories about why there's this huge cross built in this random forest. The cross stood for over 40 years, and then in 1993 it was bombed. Someone bombed this cross, and no one knew who did it. No one knew who built it, and no one knew who bombed it. This stuff burns. Sorry. I'm getting distracted. Let me just hurry and finish this and then I'll come back. So anyways, there's been so many speculations, so many stories. It's been said that there was a polygamous man from the Kingston cult who lived in Kay's Cross, Kaysville. He lived in the forest with his 17 wives. I don't know why they picked 17. They just did, okay? So, some sites said his name, too. They said his name was William Kingston, which I'm just going to tell you right now, this story is not true. But this is what, like, the more I researched it, the more, like, there's so many sites that tell this story. They say that there was this polygamous man from the Kingston group, and he had 17 wives. They all lived together, you know, happy-go-lucky polygamous family. And one day, William Kingston, goes mad and decides to kill all 17 wives. And so he does a mass murder one night and just kills them all. I don't know if some sites say he shot them, some sites say he stabbed them. Some sites say they willingly died for him because they loved him so much, I guess. But he kills 16 of them, leaves his favorite for last, killing her last, cutting her heart out, putting her heart into the cement cross in the cemetery of wives. So the story goes, he didn't want to make individual graves and headstones for every single one, so he just made a mass grave for all of them. And he put his favorite wife's heart into the cross, into the cement cross. Some sites say that he cemented her into the cross alive. You can still hear her screaming in the Kaysville forest to this day. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Not true, but for some reason it's like the most common story out there. What made me want to do this story was actually, it's kind of weird, I was walking through Barnes & Noble with my coffee in hand as usual, and I went through the like ghost story section, the like mystery section, and I saw this book. I'm just going to show you guys it. Haunted Utah. Let me just read a little bit out of here for you. So here's what happened. I walked into the store and I was just minding my own business, and I saw this and I picked it up and I literally just opened it up and it was on this page, and it wasn't the K's cross that got me. I saw the name Charles Kingston. And I was like, what? So let me just read this to you. Go ahead, lay down, get comfortable. Mama's gonna read you a nighttime story. For years, a strange, enigmatic emblem attracted the curious to a remote hollow in Kaysville in Davis County. Getting to it wasn't easy, depending on the route you took. The difficult way was hiking up a hill and through Kaysville Cemetery, where local lore said would-be visitors to the hollow would confront malevolent guardian spirits. Once in the hollow, if they made it past the ghostly guards, visitors would find a 20-foot-high, 13-foot-wide stone cross. What's interesting about the cross was, well, just about everything. It was not exactly known by whom the cross was constructed or for what purpose. Oh my gosh, I have to go back to 3rd grade. The mystery surrounding the cross lent itself to tall tales and urban legends, and the mentions of ghostly guardians is only one. Other stories told of devil worshippers who'd come to the hollow to perform sacrifices at the cross's base on Halloween nights, or that the face of a murder victim, allegedly a local wife, would appear in the cross on the anniversary of her death. It's widely believed today that the cross, which no longer exists, was built by Eldon Kingston, an area landowner and polygamist whose clan has a story stranger than fiction. In the 1920s, Kingston was associated with the prominent fundamentalists in Short Creek, Arizona. Mormon fundamentalists are not associated with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but are splinter groups that refuse to give up polygamy. By 1935, after the death of J. Leslie Broadbent, the group's leader, the Kingstons, split from the Short Creek group and embraced the leadership of Eldon Kingston. 1935, they got that right, that's the year the order started. The leadership of Eldon Kingston, Charles Kingston's son, believing he was rightful successor, the Kingstons moved to Kaysville, where Eldon later claimed an angel had visited him, telling him to establish a communal society called the Davis County Cooperative Society. Polygamy itself is a strange order. You're telling me. But perhaps even stranger is the story that says a body was encased inside the stone cross. This story provided a fable later, for the strange emblem was destroyed one night when, for unknown reasons, someone stuck dynamite inside it and blew it apart. No body was found to have been hidden inside the cross. Even if these weird stories about the cross are not true, its very existence was strange enough, since urban legends often have truth to them. What's the truth behind the ghostly stories about the cross and the quiet hollow? Let's find out the true stories, okay? So I'm gonna tell you the story that, oh my gosh, my hair is getting stuck in this. I'm just gonna pull my hair out. The story that I was told when I was growing up in the order was that, yes, there was a cross built, but it was by a man who, I mean, he was a member of the order, or he was trying to be a member of the order. And so if you're in the order, you know that there's this place called the Holy Spot, which is in Bountiful, which is where we're taught that the leader got the keys to be the right church from Christ or from God. So Bountiful, there's a specific spot in Bountiful, Utah that is considered the holy spot. So if you're in the order, you know you face north when you pray, because you got to pray and face the holy spot, because I guess like it's like when you have bad cell service, you know, like if your service when you're praying is bad, you have to like turn north and then God will hear you better. I believed that. I really did. Like when I would go on vacations with my mom, I'd be like, which way is north? I need to know so I can pray, else it won't count. Anyways, so they faced that holy spot. So what I was told when I was in the order was that there was a numbered man, or a man who was in the order at the time, who believed that Kaysville was very holy. So he thought that we should build a cross out in Kaysville because it should be a holy spot. And there were some arguments about it because a lot of order members don't believe in crosses because of the whole, I mean, I'm sure if you're LDS too, you understand why they don't believe in crosses, because I guess they have this argument where it's like, if your brother was murdered by a hammer, you wouldn't wear a hammer around your neck. I've heard that argument, but it's like, your brother wasn't Christ who knew that he was gonna like the atonement. Like, I don't know. But so some people were against crosses. So I guess the story goes, this guy builds the cross because he thinks that the Kaysville should be sacred. And then years later, a higher up numbered man got really upset that he was allowed to do that, because he thought it was kind of like a smack in the face to the holy spot in Bountiful. And so he got a group of his friends, and all these numbered men just got together one night and blew up the cross. That's what I was told. But upon my research, I found out that that's actually not true. I did so much research, you guys, so much research. And let me tell you, I learned a lot. So in order to know the true story, we have to talk about Krishna Venta. I'll leave some pictures and some links down below. He was a wild one, you guys. So Krishna Venta was another cult leader, or at least he believed that he was Christ. And his own exact words were, I may as well say it, I am Christ. So he believed he was Christ, and he dressed like Christ, and he wanted his followers to dress like Christ, like, you know, wearing the robes. He believed that he was something special. So he was born in San Francisco in 1911. His dad was a Jewish immigrant from Romania. He was married 2 times and served in the U.S. Army during World War II. April of 1948, he started his own cult. Get this, he claimed he was from another planet 240,000 years ago. A planet called Neophraites. Neophraites? I don't know. It doesn't exist, so it doesn't know. Neophraites is apparently humanity's first home. So apparently he was from this other planet, and the planet was like getting too close to the sun, so everyone on Neophraites had to abandon their home, I guess, and come to this planet called Earth. And so he has all these stories that he tells his followers about his past life, and like his followers believe it. And it doesn't, I looked it up and I tried to figure it out, but I could never figure out how many followers he had. So if anyone knows, let me know in the comments down below. Because honestly, I'm kind of shocked that he had any, but I'm shocked that a lot of cults have as many followers as they do, but whatever. Anyways, so this Krishna Venta guy, by the way, Krishna Venta means, I think it means new Christ in a different language, or the real Christ or born again Christ, something weird. His original name, I don't remember what it was, but I can put it in the. He changed his name to Krishnaventa when he found out, I guess, that he was Christ. He does have a lot of things in common with the order. Like, he believes that you have to give up all of your assets to be a member. You know, like all of your worldly assets. You know how the order is like everything you own is God's. Well, he believed that. He also believed in the whole only 144,000 people are going to make it to heaven, which the order believed. Like, you know how the order numbers their men. That's like numbering the numbers that are making it into heaven. So he believed in that too. So he actually got along with the Kingstons, and he liked the Kingstons' views when he moved to Utah. So they were buddies. And from what I was researching, he was friends with Eldon Kingston, and he either wanted to join the order or wanted to eventually take over the order and the order followers, right? Because at the time, I mean, yeah, the order was kind of a lot smaller, but it still was a pretty sizable, you know, number of people. So he was good friends with the leader, and they would, you know, chat it up. I'm sure he went to church meetings and stuff. And he told Eldon that he wanted to have a cross built to remember Christ because, you know, he believes in... Well, this is what's weird because he believed he was Christ, so was he like trying to make it for himself? I don't know. But Eldon agreed, and this is according to... I'm going to show you guys the post. The post that I saw, I know an order member made it, and it had to have been an older order member because the names that they have are 100% accurate names. They're names of people that have died in the order, that were in the order back in the 1940s. So I'll link the information down below, but the girl said that her, like, relatives built the cross for this Krishna guy. They helped make this cross, you know, to symbolize Christ and to basically, you know, give everyone a remembrance of Christ. He kind of acted like he wasn't really a member of the order, but he was friends with them. But, like, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense to me because I guess I wasn't born back then, so maybe they were just friends, and maybe Krishna had his followers and the order had their followers, and like the order was maybe hoping to get some of his followers and Krishna was hoping to get some of the order followers. But I mean, that usually doesn't work because, yeah, the cults were similar, but they, you know, didn't have the same every single belief, and each one thought they were the true church, right? So what follower is going to go from one church thinking that this church is true and just hop over to the next, you know? So I don't think they swapped followers, but they were friends, and they were like, I guess, seeing where this would blossom. So the cross is built in the 1940s by order members, by Kingston men, for this Krishna guy. This crazy guy, you guys. He was crazy. I mean, we can all agree on that. His church was called the WKFL, in case you want to look it up. I heard that they're actually still around. But so this Krishna guy, obviously he didn't join the order, but the cross stayed there. He went back to California, and get this, 2 of his own followers end up figuring out where he's at, and they do a suicide bombing, and they kill Krishna. And they killed Krishna because they believed that Krishna was sleeping with their wives, and they also believed that he was taking the funds from the church and not using them properly. So they killed him. His own followers. Wow. Krishna. Why does every cult leader have to squeeze adultery in somewhere? Have you noticed that? It's so weird. Either in the form of polygamy or, I don't know. Anyway. Krishna dies in 1958, but the cross still stands for another, like, over 30 years. 20, 30 years. The cross is just standing around. Yeah, so some say there was a lot of devil worshipping there, and that's why they blew the cross up. Others say that there was a lot of young teenagers getting together and just getting drunk and doing silly teenager things. And so someone got really mad and blew it up. But you want to know what I think happened? I don't think that the Satanism and the worshipping happened until after the cross was blown up, because, I mean, I'm not a Satanist or anything, but if you're someone who's like anti-Christ, wouldn't it make more sense to do like sacrifices at a cross that was blown up rather than a cross, like a Christian cross, you know? But people did say that there was dead animals found as a sacrifice next to the cross, and then there was this testimony. This guy said that he was in his car in the middle of the forest, and he left to go look at the cross, and when he came back, there was animal blood all over his car. That's what he said. And then there are Satanists that I saw a stream from the Satanist that's from Utah, and they said they don't do the Satanist rituals at the cross. They actually do it at the well. There's a well there that apparently there's been stories where bodies have been thrown in there, like the wives that are not the favorites have been thrown down the well. Okay, so I'm pretty sure none of you know what I am, because I don't even know what I look like, so let me just help y'all. No! Oh my gosh, I don't even look like her. I'm supposed to be... Wait, maybe I can fix it. No. I put the veil on because I thought that maybe that would help you guys realize what I am. But I don't look like what I'm supposed to be. I'm a corpse bride. I'm glad that I practiced this because now I know that I'm not good at it. But anyways, I think that they made the cross, the Krishna guy, they find out later that he's a cult leader, he's crazy, a lot of people don't like him. So they have some numbered men just blow up the cross. And then it'll be like it never happened. But obviously it happened, and there's still remnants of it there. People still talk about how there's this woman who was killed in the cross, one of the wives, and she still roams the forest. People claim they've seen this woman. I don't know. Get this though, you guys. So after this Krishna cult leader guy dies, guess who joins his cult and tries to become the next leader? Charles Manson. Yeah. So I guess all the cult leaders just know each other and they're all buddies. In the order, I never heard of this Krishna guy. I never heard that version, probably because it's so weird that the order was associated with a cult like that, you know? If you liked this video, let me know. I'm going to be doing another video next week where hopefully I'm better at my makeup. I just thought that this was such an easy look, but come to find out that Halloween face paint does not go on well. But hopefully my next look is better. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this story, and I will see you next week.